welcome to Comic Book Day. This is actually kind of the return of Comic Book Day. I don't know, Comic Book Day 2.0. But the other stuff was on a different channel, so let's just forget about that. Or you can go find it if you want to. This is a show where, each week I go out and I buy a whole bunch of comics. And I'm showing you what I'm buying and talking about what's going on with the stories, kind of reviewing them. Maybe a little more reviewing than what used to be on the old show, if you ever happened to watch the old show. So this week I bought, this is Walking Dead number 178. There's the princess on the cover there getting into a fight with all these guards from this new village they've found. Well, village I guess is a real understatement. It's kind of like a big giant city, it seems more like. But we haven't really gotten to see a lot of that yet. But I'm liking this new storyline so far. I've seen kind of, some good things about it online. Seems like other people are interested in it. Although, I'm kind of interested to see what they're going to set up. At the end of this, they kind of set up that maybe the governor's son, the new governor, not the original governor, but there's a new woman named the governor, her son kind of is an asshole, kind of, does whatever he wants, including abusing people. So, I don't know. We'll see if that doesn't seem like it's that big a threat so far. So you gotta guess that it's gonna steamroll into something more, or somehow, they'll end up at war with these people probably. Or they'll take them over, basically, like they did with every other group they've come across. This is Spider-Man number 239. This is the Miles Morales Spider-Man, in case anyone doesn't know. This is my favorite kind of Spider-Man comics right now. And this is the, I don't know, I think it's got to be second to last of this Sinister Six Reborn storyline. And this one was pretty good. I mean, it kind of revealed that, it revealed who the new Iron Spider, Miles' uncle, who he sold this shield helicarrier to, that he had stolen. Turns out it's some ruler of Latveria, not Dr. Doom, so I didn't really know who it was. Would have been exciting if it was Dr. Doom, but he's a good guy right now. We'll talk about that next, actually. But this also had a pretty awesome team-up of, not a team-up, Spider-Man brought along the Champions, which is a group that he's in. He brought them to help fight the new Sinister Six, so that was an awesome moment. I don't know. I feel like this is maybe building up to the end. I haven't seen anything online that, when Brian Michael Bendis leaves Marvel, that this comic is going to end. But I know that Marvel is doing, like, another big relaunch, and the cover little preview, for the next issue, that to me seems like a final issue kind of thing. Especially with, that's kind of what they had with, like, the Defenders, which also Brian Michael Bendis was writing. But now that he's going to DC, they just kind of ended most of his stuff, the comic lines that he was writing. So also this week I got, this is Marvel 2-in-1, the Thing and the Human Torch, number 4 and 5. Number 4 is from last month, actually, but I had decided to stop buying it, because I was getting the DC Comics, the Terrifics, which is kind of like the Fantastic Four, only, DC is putting it out. But this, I kind of felt like, why should I read the Terrifics when really this is its own Fantastic Four? They went, the Thing and the Human Torch, they're trying to find Reed Richards and Sue Storm, who, have been lost. I don't know, they're living in some kind of weird cosmic plane ever since putting back together the universe, after Secret Wars. And so this is about Ben and Johnny going and trying to find them, and they picked up this, she has, metal kind of control powers. We haven't seen a lot of her powers, just in one issue, but she's, a really smart scientist. She's good at, interdimensional travel, so they brought her along, and Dr. Doom is just kind of following them along. So basically they've put together this weird kind of Fantastic Four for this comic, And then Marvel announced, also that they are going to bring the Fantastic Four back. So it made me a little extra more excited to read this, even though I already was wanting to check it out again. I like this story too a lot, where they found a new dimension, trying to find Sue and Reed, and this is one where the Skrulls, when they did their secret invasion, they had like 1,000,000 Skrulls living on Earth, and then they abandoned it. So the Earth was already kind of, in disarray, and then when Galactus came to eat it, Doctor Doom is actually the one who stepped up and defeated Galactus, but he did it by taking over his mind. So now Doctor Doom is Galactus, and while he was going to leave the Earth alone and not eat it, well, he ate everything else, and so now he's come back for the Earth, and this issue has a lot of Reed and Ben mostly fighting with each other because, this Reed from the other dimension, he kind of just like gave up on life. He didn't really try to stop Doctor Doom as Galactus at all. So now they're kind of going to work on it more, but Galactus has shown up, or Doom has shown up, and so now they're going to have to fight him off in the next issue. Alright, so let's take a look inside Marvel 2-in-1. This is number 5. Number 4 is from last month, but, it's basically the same kind of drawing. I'm not totally a big fan of the character design and, like, kind of how they draw. This artist draws humans. Who is this? Probably not sure how to say that without it sounding like a bad word. Shitey must be, because it can't be the other word. I'm also not positive if that is the writer. It could be the drawer. It could just be the colorist. But this has some really awesome... This was a great moment where the Fantastic Four get back together, and you get to see the heroes be all excited about it too. And then it does this cool thing. Where it kind of has like pixelized, what's that called? Dot drawing, I think, kind of. I don't know enough, I guess, about what to call it, but it's very, like a classic kind of 60s styles comic technique, I guess. And yeah, I really like how they use it. They just kind of blend it in with the other, see, here you can see Reed and Ben and Johnny, they all look pretty normal, but, Doctor Doom has this kind of pixelated dot art thing. It's kind of like a pop art technique, really kind of. And yeah, I like how they use that and blend it in. It's really cool. I don't think I've seen a comic that does that. With some comics, will very intentionally print their stuff that same way to, pay homage to an old comics. But I like this blended style. This is The Curse of Brimstone, number 1. This is one of DC's The New Age of Heroes. Their new comics. I don't know. Some of these have been... I kind of like the Terrifics. I guess that's the only one that I've really enjoyed so far. This one wasn't bad. It had an interesting story. I mean, it begins with this guy who's in this, like, old... I mean, I don't know if it was really... like, it's a coal mining town, which now is, lost a lot of... I'm guessing it lost the mine. And so now most everyone's leaving town, and the town is just kind of crumbling around. And this guy's kind of trying to, like, make his life a little better, trying to make his sister, his dad is on disability, and he can't really work at all. But then this guy shows up and gives him this power, turns him into Brimstone. But that's basically all we got out of the story. Other than also, it seems like he's about to destroy his town right at the end, which kind of makes me want to check it out. I don't know what's going to happen with this. I don't know if this guy's going to go and destroy his town and then have, some other adventure, or if it's going to be this guy living in his town. It seems weird if this guy is just like this big, I don't know, flaming superhero dude in this little town. So my guess is he'll be kind of like an evil guy, trying not to be evil because he's still human inside. And this is Batman White Knight number 7. This has been a really good series so far. I'm sure anyone who's reading it, anyone who's reading comics probably at all is checking this out, unless they don't like Batman. If you don't like DC, just whatever, read a DC comic. But this comic has been great. Now Jack Napier is no longer in control of the Joker. I mean, as much as he was. The pills are now not having the effect that they were, so he keeps turning into the Joker just kind of out of nowhere. Which I don't really like that, where it's like, oh, the Joker, like his hair becomes green and his skin becomes white when he's out of control. Plus his eyes become green and purple. That's a cool effect that they gave this Joker. But, you know, I don't get why he would all of a sudden be changing his appearance just because the pills aren't affecting him. But it just works for the comic book medium, really. You know, it's a visual thing that you can see the change. In this one, he teams up with Batman to go stop the Neo Joker, his evil Harley Quinn, who ran away from him. Well, I mean, he ran away from her, and she took over all the super criminals in Gotham. So this, now at the end, it kind of reveals that maybe the Joker's going to be back completely in control. There's only one issue left of this, so I'm really excited to see how this ends. I really like the artwork and how they've changed up different characters. Like, I really like how Duke Thomas is in here, but he's just like an ex-cop who has been helping out Jack Napier a bunch. And then this one kind of revealed where Jason Todd was not killed, but he actually just ran away from Batman after the Joker forced him to, you know, reveal Batman's identity. And then he just couldn't take going back to being Robin. So he just ran away and faked his death, basically. So that's a pretty brutal turn for Jason Todd, who's already a pretty brutal character. But yeah, I like the changes that they have in this one. It's a good, like, Elseworld comic. And that's it. Thanks everyone for watching, and make sure to come back next week. I'll have more comics, more stuff to talk about. As I go, it'll kind of, you know, I think the reviews will be based more on kind of like issue to issue. You know, how well the story is moving along. That's a thing that's been going on with the Spider-Man comic, is it's had horrible story progression, I kind of feel like. I mean, Brian Michael Bendis, he likes to take his time and develop stuff. That's what made me like him as a writer in the beginning, but now I feel like he's kind of gone off the rails. Maybe going to DC will kind of revitalize him. But yeah, make sure to go through and subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and I don't know, spread the word, especially if your friends read comics.